We are back with some more Legacy franchise, and it's been a minute. We're in week one. We are in the regular season. We're not playing in this episode. I just couldn't get around to making this video during the preseason, so we're making it now. We somehow managed to make it through the draft without any hiccups. Everyone got exactly every single player they drafted on the offline draft, and we simmed the whole draft. Everyone got their players. No league glitching out, nothing. So amazing that we were able to get through that. Hopefully by the time we can get into the next draft, maybe EA has a patch finally to fix that so we don't have to do all this nonsense. We have a lot to talk about. Before I break down the draft, I'm going to update everyone on some trades that have happened throughout the league. We have made one as well. So we'll start with that, and then we'll go through our draft, look at all the people we drafted, talk about the regular season, the preseason, who's going to start where, all that good stuff. But starting first, trades. So, first things first, we have the Rams, who traded away a future first-round pick and Van Jefferson to the Cardinals, and the Cardinals sent Marquise Brown. The Rams also sent Bobby Wagner to the Falcons, and the Falcons sent wide receiver Frank Darby, middle linebacker Troy Anderson, right guard Brendan James, and that is it. It was kind of a salary dump. The Rams messed up a little bit the salary cap that he had, so he was in the negative. He had to get a contract out of the way, so that was that. We'll skip my trade for now. The Rams also made another trade. The Rams made a bunch of moves after the draft. He sent a future second-round pick and right outside linebacker Jimmy McMichael, left tackle George Green to the Bills, and the Bills sent left tackle Deion Dawkins and left end Greg Razoo. Another salary cap. So the Rams, I think he made that trade because the Bills were in salary cap issues. So a lot of people kind of choking in the first offseason with their salary cap. They got to get that figured out. The Ravens traded right outside linebacker. I never know how to say this guy's name. Odefe Owe. That's wrong. I have no idea. I don't even know how to pronounce his name, but he's a superstar. He's a very good player, to the Chiefs. And the Chiefs sent right outside linebacker Willie Gay and cornerback L'Jarius Sneed. So interesting trade there. The Browns sent quarterback Greg Newsome to the Panthers, and the Panthers sent 2 picks, a first-round pick and a sixth-round pick, and Brandon Ayuk. So a lot of stuff there for Mr. Greg, and that catches it up with the trade. So my trade was made after the draft due to some people we drafted. I traded John Mechie to the Giants for a second-round pick. As things stand, that's the second pick in the second round. So hopefully, the Giants, I think he had the second pick this first draft. He drafted a really good quarterback, so maybe he turns it around. Hopefully, he can continue to lose, so that's a very early second-round pick. I did not want... Hold on, I'm just trying to get to my next page of notes here. I did not want to trade Mechie. If I could, I would much rather trade Brandon Cooks. But the contract on Brandon Cooks is outrageous. I can't trade him. The cap hit or the penalty I would get would be kind of insane. And it's very hard in online leagues to have people trade for an aging wide receiver. He's 29. He's still very talented. Got the hiccups. Still very talented, but 89 overall for a 29-year-old. He's still got 2 years left remaining on his contract. Maybe this offseason I can try to offload him, but I honestly think I'm stuck with him. It's kind of like last Madden when I had Tyler Lockett. I was just stuck with him. Even like year 3, when he's very old and regressing in Madden. In real life, he's still very good, but in Madden, he was regressing a lot, so I just was kind of stuck with Tyler. Same boat with Brandon Cooks because he got that contract extension, so would have much rather got rid of Brandon and just roll out the young guys, but Mechie traded him for a second-round pick. I think it's very, it's a solid deal. We had to get rid of a receiver because the 2 rookies that I drafted, I actually drafted 3 wide receivers, and there's 2 in particular that I want to give a lot of minutes to, so would have sucked to see Mechie just ride the bench because he kind of just was the odd man out because I can't get rid of Brandon Cooks, so got him for a second-round pick, which means next draft we have 2 firsts and 3 seconds. So we got a lot of early capital next draft as well, which is huge. So that is that for the trades. We're gonna start by showing you position or round by round who we selected. So with our first round pick, I wanted to go quarterback in the first round. I think 3 quarterbacks, 3 or 4. I think it's 3. It might even, I think it's actually 4. 4 quarterbacks were picked in the first round, which for a non-QB heavy draft, that was kind of like Well, damn, that's an issue. So we didn't go quarterback in the first round. With our first overall pick, we went wide receiver, and we picked Thurman Grimes here. He's 21. He's hidden dev. By the way, I drafted, I think, 4 or 5 hiddens, and I'm not 100% sure, but on the website we used, you can pretty much tell what dev they are, and I'm almost certain all of them are star. The only one, spoiler, the only one I'm not 100% certain is my quarterback, but just because the way it's sorted, it's kind of hard to explain, but I'm like 90% sure he's star, my quarterback. So they can't get my hopes up that he's superstar. I'm pretty sure he's star. It's just not confirmed. The rest are all confirmed stars. He's 6'4", 220 pounds. Deep threat is his best archetype there, and I needed a deep threat. I mean, if you guys saw anything last season, we had nothing downfield, so we needed a deep threat. He will be our number 1 wide receiver with Brandon Cooks at the 2. So he is our number 1 wide receiver in the depth chart. He is our guy. There was only 1 receiver drafted ahead of him. He was the second receiver drafted in this year's draft. The first one was a god. If he somehow would have fell to me, I would have picked him in a heartbeat. He was an X Factor. I think he's like a 76 overall X Factor. So he got picked, I think, at 8 or 7 or something, pretty early. But we had this pick at 23. Thurman Grimes, 91 speed, 88 acceleration. His route running's not the best, but he's got very good traits. I used my tokens to give him the high motor trait, so he already has aggressive catch, possession catch, run after catch. He's a team player. His change of direction is not too bad. He's got decent carrying, so he's got good stats. We just got to get the route running up. He's 6'4". That's the thing that I really liked the most because I needed a big body downfield. We needed him because we had too many midgets running around out there last season. I just needed someone when things aren't going right and I'm just going to throw up a 50-50 and see what happens. I need someone, and so that is why we went first round wide receiver there. Our second pick in the first round, I really wanted this tight end out of Florida. He ended up being a hidden dev. He's star or superstar, I can't remember. And he's like a 76 overall. He looks very, very good. I wanted to pick him to bolster our tight end spot. Brevin was okay, but, we could always get a little bit better there. So I wanted to pick him. He got picked right before me, so I was kind of scrambling on players to pick. I used my tokens to bump him up to star because he was just a normal when I drafted him. So I used my tokens to get him a star. I'm putting him straight into the starting lineup. I need to go to roster, not depth chart. He was my first round pick. It's hard in the first season to draft a first round defensive end when pass rush is kind of a problem here and not play him. So he is starting over Jerry Hughes, who Jerry Hughes didn't do too much. Not sure if George Rose will be the guy for the future, but he's going to get a shot. I bumped him up straight to star, try to get that development going for him. He doesn't have the worst stats in the world. He's got decent speed and acceleration. His tackling's not too bad. He's got some okay finesse move. He's got very good traits. So we'll have to see how he plays. He's probably like a second round pick that I reached a little bit, but it was kind of a panic tilt pick because I was going to pick the tight end first. But I was looking, and I think it was the Saints that picked the tight end. And just kind of how things were going and how his team was looking, I was like, because he traded Michael Thomas, so I was like, well, he might go receiver with his first pick. So that's why I went Grimes, hoping the tight end would get there. And then the Saints, I'm pretty sure it's the Saints, ended up picking that tight end. And so I'm on the clock. I'm freaking out because I thought I played it good to where I could get him, didn't. So I ended up with George Rose. Maybe he could do something for us. He will be starting, like I said, but that is our second pick in the first round, excuse me. Now, for our only second round pick, it is quarterback, and we have a hidden dev star quarterback. He was one of the main guys I was looking at, mainly because of his throw power. He had elite throw power, which was very, nice. He was projected as a round 3 to 4. I think he's true talent. I didn't have his true talent unlocked because I think he was at like a 70%, or he might even been 50% scouted for me. But his true talent probably was like late second, early third, around there. He's a 69 overall. He is, like I said, I'm pretty sure he's star dev. There's a chance he's superstar. I doubt it. He's pretty sure he's star dev. But when they're hidden, if I'm not wrong, every hidden dev player, when they're upgrading, gets superstar level XP. So he's our starting quarterback. He's the quarterback of the future unless he completely sucks. He is our guy. We have to have a good season with him. And the 96 throw power is what really intrigued me. That elite throw power, I saw that and I was like, okay, Emmett Walters, I see you. I'll take a peek at you. His stats are okay for a rookie. They're not the worst. They're not the best, but they're not the worst. But that throw power is insane. I mean, 96 throw power. He's going to be able to make any single throw on the field. We just got to get the accuracy stuff figured out. He still has okay speed. I mean, it's not the worst in the world. He had really good traits, too. The only thing I used my tokens on was his sense of pressure to get that to ideal. But the rest, I mean, he's got throwaways, he's got tight spiral, he's got the personality team player, so not bad there. The throw power is the main reason why I drafted this guy. The him being star dev, too, is just the cherry on top. So he is our starting quarterback. That is our second round pick. With our first third round pick, we went halfback. We had to replace Rex Burkhead. So we go out and get Darian Gibson, he's 23, 72 overall, hidden dev, another star player. Very, very solid player. He's 5'9", he's kind of a midget, but he's got 91 speed, 95 acceleration. Perfect combination. He's got 90 change of direction. It's a perfect combination with Dameon Pierce. Dameon Pierce, the bruiser, gets the majority of the load. Darian Gibson can come in, be the speed guy, maybe some outside handoffs, maybe some tosses. Get him involved in the screen game, passes out of the backfield. So I was very, very happy with this selection here. I actually didn't think he'd get to me. He looked very, very good. And had a good combine, and he had a lead acceleration. So I thought, running back, he was the second running back off the board. So all the way in the late third, I think this was early third round pick. Yeah, no, this was a late third round pick. Because I had 3, so this was at 23 in the third round. Second back taken off the board, and Darian Gibson fell to us. So very, very happy with that to replace Rex Burkhead. I'm excited to use him. Our second third round pick was a tight end. We just needed another body out there. I don't think he'll play much. He looks okay. He's a 66 overall normal. 86 speed, 86 acceleration, 78 catching. Isn't that bad, but does he deserve to start straight over Brevin? No, Brevin was all right, so he's just kind of a body out there right now. And our last third round pick was wide receiver Juan Coleman. Now, this was the pick where I was like, okay, I got to get rid of a receiver because this dude looks insane. He's going to be playing out of the slot for us. He's normal dev, but look at this 96 speed, 97 acceleration. I mean, the rest is kind of what it is. Got 90 change of direction. His juke and spin is solid. He's going straight into special teams as well. He's going to be our kick returner. He's going to be our punt returner. We've been looking for speed, and that's the main reason why I signed Jalen Guyton, because we needed some speed out there, some burners. And the fact that I picked up Coleman in the third is ridiculous. And just when I saw his stats, I was like, I drafted him. I was like, we need a gadget guy, maybe some end arounds, just a kind of a gadget guy. But then when I saw the stats, and I was like, he's got a lot of speed, and we could really use that. I was like, I'm going to want to play this guy a lot. So it just, John Mechie, like I said, was just kind of the odd man out, and Mr. Coleman's going to be playing out of the slot for us. With that speed, if any of you guys remember the Bengals franchise, we had John Ross playing out of the slot, and he was a monster for us. He led us in receptions, touchdowns, yards. That season we won the Super Bowl. John Ross was crazy out of the slot for us. Oh, just bashed my elbow. So with Coleman picking up late in the third round, at the end of the third round, I was like, this dude, he's got it. I got to start this guy. He looks like an absolute monster. Our first fourth round pick was another receiver and solid player as well. I think his true talent was second round. So hidden dev, 73 overall. I was just kind of drafting him for depth, but this is another reason why I got rid of Mechie. It's like, it's just another solid receiver here that we can, ease in, play here and there. We have Guyton too, so I really, really like how our receiving core is looking, especially because how old we were last year. We definitely got younger. We have no one in their 30s. I did end up releasing Chester Rogers to make room, so Juan will be out of the slot. Thurman Grimes is our starting wide receiver coming out of LSU, and then Brandon Cooks is our second wide receiver. So a lot of young guys at receiver with a young quarterback. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. Our second, fourth round pick was a cornerback in Marlon Everett. Kind of just Looking for a slot guy to potentially replace Desmond next year. I don't know if I want to re-sign him. So we have Everett here at 70 overall, 22 years of age. He's solid, got decent man coverage, decent play rec. The speed's not the worst in the world. So was a pretty good pick for the end of the 4th round, getting a 70 overall. He's not bad, so he'll kind of just play behind. He's the backup slot guy right now for Desmond in case Desmond gets hurt. Just a guy, just in case he goes down, we have another slot guy. Or if I leave, Desmond can go. If he walks, I don't resign him. Maybe he can play that spot. While we were at cornerback, we had another player match at the start of the season. I think I have 2 more after this. So player matches are based off real life weeks. So we have one, I think, at week 12 of real life and at the very end of the regular season real life. So we have 2 more coming up. The second one was a no-brainer for me. We used it on Tariq Woolen. He was a 70 overall. And the player match bumps him up straight to a 78. So we needed this 8 overall boost. Look at the speed. He's got 98 speed. He's just insane. The zone, the man coverage is crazy. The jumping is crazy. So I'm expecting a big season from him. I was thinking about upgrading him to star, but I'm just going to let it ride out and see if he can get those devs by himself. We had 1 5th-round pick. We needed a backup middle linebacker, so we ended up drafting Spencer Lewis. He's just an average middle linebacker. He'll be the backup, 66 overall. Nothing too crazy about him in the 5th round. We needed a backup. He's got really good acceleration, but we just needed a backup middle linebacker. And we have 2 7th-round picks. Our first one was another quarterback. He's on the practice squad. We got P.J. Hutchinson, just because throw another body out there, see if we can get blessed with someone. Definitely going with the other guy, quarterback. This guy, he's got a little bit better in the accuracy stats, but he's got 8 less throw power, so it's just not even worth it. His speed's a little bit better, but he'll be the practice squad guy. And our last pick of the draft was a center. There was only 2 centers drafted this draft. The first one was pretty good. The rest were all kind of terrible. He's star dev, which is pretty cool. He's 65 overall. He's actually going to be my long snapper just because he's hitting dev, so maybe he devs a bit being the long snapper and he could be the starting center next season. Maybe. I'll probably draft or sign a center to replace Britt, but just to give the rookie some snaps, he's going to be the long snapper. He's all right. His strength's kind of poor. But that rounds out our draft. I think it was a very solid draft. The receivers are a very big, I think we did very, very well with the receivers with Grimes. I'm very excited to see how Grimes and Coleman play. And then we got Chester Russell just for shits and giggles. And our halfback, Darian Gibson, is going to be very, very interesting to see how he plays as well. They're all going to be playing a lot of rookies playing just like last year, and even George Rose on the defensive side. We do have a rookie over there playing on the defensive side. So that concluded the draft. After the draft, we made the John Mechie trade, and then after that, we made 1 free agent signing because you know what? I know we have. I know we didn't win a playoff game first year, but we want to try to make a deep run this year. Why not? We got a young quarterback. Let's try to make some things happen. And we went out and signed Anthony Barr on a 1-year deal, $3.35 million. He's a 78 overall. I thought about playing Cashman, but Anthony Barr, if anyone plays Madden, this guy's a monster in Madden. He's just the perfect Madden linebacker. And for a 1-year deal, I think it's totally worth it. He's coming straight in. He's starting at outside linebacker. So very excited to see him flying around out there making plays. Anthony Barr is a god in Madden, so that to me was a no-brainer. Before we show you guys who's starting and all that stuff, and then wrap up this video, I do want to show you my schedule. It's a lot harder this year, in my opinion. I think we have a very difficult schedule. We start off with the Colts, who beat us last year. Then we have the Bengals, who knocked us out of the playoffs. The Titans, the Saints, who made the playoffs. Titans again, Jags, early bye week. We have the Browns, who was a tight game. Colts, Jags, the Ravens, who made the playoffs. The Chiefs again. The Falcons, he has a new user, Mo. You guys remember him from the Cardinals, solid user. The Rams, also a playoff team. Panthers, also a playoff team. The Steelers, yep, you guessed it, another playoff team. Oh, wait, the Bucks, another playoff team. Oh, and the Dolphins, yeah, they won their division last year. So we have a crazy, crazy schedule. I mean, almost every team we play is a playoff opponent. I mean, it's our division. We already lost once to everyone in our division last season, so it's not like I can say the division's a cakewalk. Even though, if you just look at the schedule or the standings, it kind of looked like it. So we got to be on our A game. We really, really got to be on our A game this season. And with a rookie young quarterback, we gotta come out and play. So Emmett Walters is the quarterback. Dameon Pierce, Gibson as the third down back. We got Grimes at the 1 with Cooks at the 2. Juan Coleman's our third receiver. He's also a slot receiver. Janovich still our starting fullback. Offensive line, we got the 2 new faces on the right side. So I'm really liking the offensive line. It's looking a lot better. Brevin, Caden Smith, we've got in free agency, and Mr. Porter as our third tight end. Defensively, safeties, Jalen Petrie still there. We got the Sean Elliott, the new strong safety. Kirksey and Christian Harris stay starters, and we got Anthony Barr at right outside linebacker. Look at all the silver and gold, man. We're getting places here. Derek Slingley starting cornerback. Tariq Woolen on the other side with Desmond in the slot. Jonathan Greenard still starting. I gave Malik Collins the number 1 spot at defensive tackle over Matt Ioannidis, even though he's higher overall, just because he deserved it. The man was a monster last year, so he's starting there. I do have Ioannidis starting as the number 1 kicked for inactivity, even though I was just moving around. Leave it to EA. Ioannidis, he is my number 1 pass rush defensive tackles, just because his stats are a lot better for that. So, I mean, they're both going to be out there in 4-3, so it doesn't really matter too much, but thought I'd give him a start there just because maybe that'll make him feel better, I guess. I don't know. And then the rookie, George Rose, to the left side. Jerry Hughes wasn't that impactful last season, so might as well give George Rose this whole entire season development. See what he can do. If he has a solid season, he'll start next year. If not, we'll have to replace that, Special teams, same everywhere besides our kick returner and punt returner is now Coleman instead of Smith. Smith is the backup kick returner, and we'll make him the backup punt returner as well. So Coleman gets that. Specialist, slot, Desmond King. Rush defensive ends the same. Ioannidis the number 1 in defensive tackle. I got the hiccups. I did ponder Anthony Barr coming up as the number 1 sub linebacker because, like I said, if you play Madden, you know Anthony Barr is a god. But Christian Harris, he deserves it. He got the superstar. He got second in Rookie of the Year. It's like, I don't want to demote the man. He deserves it. Dameon Pierce as their power back. Gibson as the third down back. And Coleman in the slot. And this is the practice squad. Nothing too special here. Just a bunch of young guys. Nothing crazy. That is the team. We are sitting at an 80 overall offense and defense with a ton of young guys. So very, very excited to get into this season. Sorry, it's been a while. It was a long off season. We had to do a lot of stuff offline and Google Sheets and couldn't do much in Madden because there's just so many glitches. But we've made it through it. We got through without any glitches, and we're here, ready for week 1. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment, and I will see you guys in the next one.